Let us begin, as we so often do, with the breath, a gentle inhalation and a long, slow exhalation. Feel the quiet rhythm of it, the rise and the fall. It is an anchor in the present moment, a steady, faithful companion that asks nothing of you. The day, with all of its sharp edges and hurried demands, is beginning to soften. You have brought yourself to this place of rest, this harbor of quiet, and here there's nothing to do, nothing to be, but simply present. Here in the stillness, we can allow our minds to wander, to drift on a gentle current of imagination. Imagine with me, if you will, the feeling of a late summer afternoon. The air has been thick and heavy for hours, charged with an unspoken tension. The world holding its breath, and then it came. The rain. Not a violent thunderstorm, but a deep, soaking, cleansing shower. For a time, the world was a percussive symphony of water, the sound of a million fat droplets drumming on the roof, tapping against the window pane, and hissing softly on the warm pavement. It was a sound that seemed to wash the world clean, to dissolve the accumulated dust and worry of the week, carrying it all away in little rivers that ran along the curbs. And now, the rain has passed. The drumming has softened to a gentle, intermittent dripping from the eaves of the house and the leaves of the trees. The world is hushed, resting in the aftermath. Let's open a door and step out into this newly washed world. The first thing you notice is the smell. That beautiful, complex perfume that has a name of its own petrichor. It is the scent of the dry earth finally quenching its thirst. A mineral scent mixed with the sweet green perfume of damp grass and leaves. It smells clean. It smells of relief. It smells of life. The air itself feels different. The heavy, humid blanket has been lifted, replaced by a cool, clean sheet of air that feels wonderful against your skin. It is as if the world has taken its first deep, clean breath after a long fever. The light, too, has changed. The sun is still hidden behind a thick, soft mattress of clouds, so there are no sharp shadows. The world is bathed in a gentle, diffused, silver-gray light. A light that seems to soften every color and calm every surface. It is a world at peace with itself, resting, sighing. We can walk, if you like. A little way down the quiet street, our footsteps make no sound on the damp ground. We can hear the cheerful, liquid chatter of a robin in a nearby tree, singing its own song of gratitude for the rain. We see the flowers in a garden, their heads bowed slightly under the weight of the water droplets that cling to their petals like tiny jewels. Each drop is a perfect miniature world, holding a tiny, distorted reflection of the gray sky above. Everything is glistening, calm, and deeply, deeply peaceful. And it is in this moment of quiet observation, when you are expecting nothing at all, that you see it. You are not looking for it. You did not anticipate it. But there it is. It begins not as a clear, sharp arc, but as a faint, almost imperceptible blush of color against the gray canvas of the clouds. It is so subtle at first that you might think your eyes are playing tricks on you. A hint of rose perhaps bleeding softly into the gray. Like a watercolor wash on damp paper, you pause. You stop walking. You simply stand and watch. And as you watch, with a patience you didn't know you had, the blush deepens. It intensifies. Not quickly, but with a slow, majestic certainty. The colors begin to differentiate themselves, to unfurl from one another like a tightly folded ribbon being gently shaken out. The soft rose deepens into a clear, watermelon red, and beside it, a band of warm, gentle orange appears. the color of a ripe apricot. Next, a soft, luminous yellow, the color of candlelight seen through a misty window. It is as if the sky itself has decided to paint a secret for no one's eyes but your own. The arc continues to build, to climb into the sky, a perfect ethereal bridge. The yellow gives way to a green so gentle and pure it seems to be the very essence of new spring leaves. And this green, in turn, surrenders to a calm and placid blue, the color of a shallow tropical sea. And finally, at the very edge, a soft, contemplative violet, a shade of purple so delicate it seems to be the color of twilight itself. The colors are not sharp, not like colored blocks stacked one upon the other. They melt into one another at the edges, their borders soft and dreamlike. There is a luminous, transparent quality to the entire spectacle, as if it is not made of solid matter, but of light and water and air, a thing of pure spirit. It does not block the clouds behind it. It simply overlays them with its gentle beauty. A stained glass window hung upon the cathedral of the sky, and in this moment, all the intellectual parts of your brain can fall silent. The part that wants to name the colors, to measure the angle, to understand the physics, it can rest. For now, it is enough to simply witness, to feel the quiet, uncomplicated wonder that this sight evokes. It is a feeling that connects you to your own childhood, to the first time you ever saw this impossible, beautiful thing. It is a feeling of magic, a sense that the world holds secrets and beauties beyond our everyday understanding. The world remains quiet. The robin continues to sing. The water continues to drip. And this silent, impossible arc of color just hangs there. A silent promise in the sky. A promise of what it does not say. Perhaps it is a promise that even after a period of gray and gloom, color and light can return. Perhaps it is a promise that beauty can arise from the most ordinary of ingredients. Or perhaps it makes no promise at all, and is simply content to be what it is, a beautiful, transient, and utterly mysterious event. There is a deep sense of peace in its presence. Unlike a dramatic sunset, with its fiery and passionate colors, the rainbow feels calm. Its colors are pure and cool. Its shape is a perfect, harmonious curve. It asks nothing of you. It does not demand your applause or your interpretation. It simply offers itself to your quiet gaze. It is a gift. You can let your own breath be as quiet and as steady as the arc of the rainbow. You can let your own mind be as calm and as clear as the freshly washed air. In this moment, you are connected to the deep, gentle rhythms of the world. The rhythm of the rain falling and the rhythm of the rain stopping. The rhythm of the clouds gathering and the rhythm of the clouds parting. And the rhythm of the light, in its own time, revealing the hidden colors it holds within. We can stay here, in this quiet street, in the cool, clean air, and simply watch as the rainbow holds its own in the sky. It may last for many minutes, a steady, silent presence, or it may be a fleeting thing, already beginning to fade, the colors growing pale again, sinking back into the soft gray of the clouds from which they were born. Its transience does not make it less beautiful. In fact, it makes it more so. It is a reminder to be present, to appreciate the beauty of this moment, for this moment will not last forever. It is a lesson in appreciating the now. And as the last hint of violet melts back into the gray, there is no sense of loss, only a quiet sense of gratitude. You were there, you saw it, you received the gift. The sky is now a simple, placid gray once more, but it is not the same gray as before. It is a gray that you know holds the memory and the potential of all that color. the world feels richer, fuller, more mysterious than it did just a few moments ago. This is the feeling we will take with us as we continue our journey. This feeling of quiet wonder, of gentle surprise, of a beauty that arises unexpectedly from the simplest of things. This is the promise of the rainbow. Not that life will be free of rain, but that beauty can be found in the moments just after. It is the perfect place to begin our exploration, not with a set of facts, but with a shared memory of awe, a feeling of peace, and the quiet, breathtaking magic of color appearing in a gray sky. The memory of the rainbow still hangs in the quiet theater of our minds. A perfect silent arc of color that bloomed for a moment against the soft, gray clouds and then, just as gently, faded away. It left behind a sense of wonder, a feeling of having witnessed a small and fleeting miracle. And as we rest in that feeling, a gentle curiosity may begin to stir. Where did it come from? How can such vibrant color emerge from a sky that was just a moment before a simple wash of gray and white? The answer, my friend, is as beautiful and as poetic as the rainbow itself. Part of the secret lies in the raindrops, the tiny, temporary crystals of water that filled the air, and we will visit them soon. But the first and most fundamental part of the secret was not in the rain at all. It was in the sunlight that shone through it. The light that, to our eyes, appeared as a simple, unassuming whiteness. Let us consider sunlight. We experience it every day. It warms our skin. It illuminates our world. It allows the leaves of the trees to breathe. It seems so simple, so elemental, so white. But this apparent simplicity is a beautiful illusion. The whiteness of sunlight is not a color in itself. Rather, it is the perfect blending of all colors. It is every color, sounding at once, in such perfect harmony that they become a single, unified brilliance. Imagine, for a moment, that sunlight is a beautiful fan, brought from a distant, exotic land. When the fan is closed, it appears to be made of simple, unadorned white paper. It is elegant, it is clean, but it holds its secrets close. You can admire its simple form, but you have no idea of the richness that lies folded within. The journey of light through the sky is like this closed fan, a sleek, white messenger carrying a hidden potential. The rainbow is the moment when a gentle hand, the hand of a raindrop, catches this fan and, for a brief moment, unfolds it for us to see. And as it opens, a breathtaking painting is revealed. A vibrant spectrum of every color imaginable, laid out in a perfect, flowing design. The colors were always there, concealed in the clever folds of the fan. We just needed the right conditions to see them revealed. Or perhaps we can think of it in a more musical way. Imagine that each color has a sound, a specific note. The deep, warm red is a low, resonant note from a cello. The bright, cheerful yellow is a clear, happy note from a flute. The calm, contemplative blue is a sustained, peaceful note from a viola. And the mysterious violet is a high, ethereal harmonic. White light, then, is not silence. It is a grand, silent chord, where every one of these notes and all the notes in between are being played at the exact same time. The harmony is so perfect, so complete, that our ears, or in this case, our eyes, do not distinguish the individual notes. We perceive only a single, unified, brilliant sound whiteness. The raindrop, as we shall see, acts as a sort of magical prism. As the great white cord of sunlight passes through it, the raindrop gently coaxes the notes apart. It separates the deep cello tones of red from the high flute tones of violet. and lays them all out in order between, for our eyes to appreciate individually for a moment. The music was always there, in every single sunbeam. The rainbow is simply the moment we are allowed to hear each instrument playing its own beautiful part. This idea that simplicity can hold within it an immense and beautiful complexity is a deeply calming and hopeful one. It suggests that the world around us is richer and more mysterious than it often appears. The ordinary light that fills your room right now holds the same hidden promise. The most mundane things are often just closed fans, waiting for the right moment of attention, the right perspective, to unfold their hidden beauty. Let us return to our silent messenger, the photon, whose journey we have touched upon before. When it is born in the heart of the sun, it is not yet white. It is a packet of pure energy. But as it makes its long, patient journey outward, and then its swift 8.5-minute flight across the void, it becomes this vessel of potential. It is a tiny seed of light. Think of a simple, brown, unremarkable seed that you can hold in the palm of your hand. It gives little hint of what it contains. But locked within its humble form is the entire blueprint for a magnificent flower, the exact shape of its leaves, the precise architecture of its stem, and the specific, vibrant hue of its petals. The seed is a promise. It's the future held in miniature. White light is like this seed. It travels through the universe, a humble, unassuming messenger, carrying within it the entire vibrant promise of the rainbow. The raindrop, then, is the fertile ground and the gentle water that allows the seed to sprout. When the light seed enters the raindrop, its potential is unlocked, and for a glorious moment, it blossoms into the full flower of the spectrum, sharing the beauty it has carried in secret for so long. This perspective changes how we experience light. It's no longer just a utility, a thing that simply allows us to see. It becomes a constant, flowing river of hidden beauty. Every sunbeam that slants through a window and illuminates a cloud of dust motes is a stream of unopened fans, a cascade of unsung chords, a shower of unsprouted seeds. The world is perpetually bathed in a beauty that is simply waiting for the right conditions to be revealed. There is no strain in this, no effort. The light is not struggling to hold its colors inside. It is its nature to be whole, to be one, and it is the nature of the raindrop to gently reveal what is held within that wholeness. It is a story of cooperation, of two simple things coming together to create something extraordinary. As you lie here, breathing in and breathing out, you can let this idea be a comfort. Sometimes our own lives, our own minds, can feel like that white light. They can feel plain, simple, or perhaps just a uniform gray. We may not feel the vibrant reds of passion or the calm blues of peace within us. But the lesson of the sunlight is that the potential for these colors is never truly absent. It is simply folded up, harmonized into a single chord, waiting. It is waiting for a moment of reflection, a different angle of approach, a raindrop of perspective, and to allow those hidden hues of our own spirit to be seen. You do not need to force them to appear. You can simply trust that they are there. Trust that within the quiet, ordinary wholeness of your being, there exists a full and beautiful spectrum. The potential for joy, for peace, for creativity, for love. It is all there, folded into the quiet light of your own awareness. Sleep, in a way, is a time when our own light is passed through a different kind of prism. The day's experiences, which can seem so solid and monolithic, are passed through the lens of the subconscious mind. And in our dreams, the hidden colors can emerge the strange, beautiful, and sometimes nonsensical tableaus that our minds create. We are all, in our own way, carriers of a secret, inner rainbow. So let us rest in this new understanding of the light. It is not empty, it is full. It is not simple, it is infinitely complex. In a state of perfect, harmonious peace. It is a promise. It is a quiet, steady, and beautiful messenger, perpetually arriving from a distant star, carrying a gift that most of the time we never see. But the gift is always there. And knowing that we are surrounded by a constant, flowing potential for beauty can be a source of profound and gentle peace, a perfect companion as we drift deeper into the quiet of our own rest. We have spent some time now contemplating the profound secret of the sunlight, understanding it as a silent, harmonious chord containing the promise of all colors. We have imagined it as a folded fan, a dormant seed, a messenger carrying a hidden treasure. But a seed, no matter how full of promise, cannot sprout on its own. A message cannot be read until it is delivered and opened. The light, for all its potential, needs a partner. It needs a stage upon which to reveal its inner beauty. And that stage, that partner in this graceful ballet, is a thing of profound simplicity and fleeting perfection. It is a single drop of rain. Let us now turn our full-est, gentle attention to this other half of our story. Let us consider the brief, beautiful life of a raindrop. Where does it begin? Its story starts high above us, in the cool, gray sanctuary of a cloud. A cloud may look from a distance like a great, soft pillow of white, but it is, in fact, a bustling, invisible community of countless water vapor molecules, a gas as transparent as the air itself. These molecules are energetic, darting about, but they are searching for a place to rest. For a droplet to be born, there must first be a seed, not a seed of a plant, but a microscopic speck of something solid, a grain of pollen, lifted on the wind from a distant flower, a tiny crystal of sea salt, evaporated from the ocean and carried high into the atmosphere, or even a particle of dust, a mote of cosmic matter that has journeyed from beyond our world. These tiny specks are the gathering places. They are the quiet invitation for the water vapor to come together. And so, the molecules begin to condense upon this tiny nucleus. One by one, they release their energy and settle, clinging to the seed and to one another. A community begins to form. It is a slow, quiet process of accumulation. The nascent droplet grows, gathering more and more of its brethren, swelling from an invisible speck into a microscopic sphere of pure, liquid water. It floats there within the protective womb of the cloud, jostled by air currents, one of millions upon millions of its siblings, all undergoing the same gentle birth. As it grows, it becomes heavier. And eventually, a moment comes when its weight is too much for the gentle updrafts of the cloud to support. It succumbs to that most patient and persistent of forces, gravity. And its final journey begins. It starts to fall. As it falls, something remarkable happens. The air rushing past it should, one might think, tear it apart or flatten it into a classic teardrop shape. The kind we often draw. But for most of its journey, a raindrop is not a teardrop at all. It is a sphere, a near-perfect tiny globe of water. And the force that pulls it into this shape is one of the most gentle and beautiful in all of nature. It is the force of the water wanting to be with itself. We call it surface tension, but let us think of it as a kind of gentle collective embrace. The water molecules on the very surface of the droplet are in a different position from their brethren in the interior. They are exposed to the air on one side, and so they hold onto each other a little more tightly. They link arms, creating a kind of delicate elastic skin around the droplet. This skin is constantly pulling inward, trying to bring every molecule as close to the center as it can. And the one and only shape in the universe that achieves this perfectly? The shape with the smallest possible surface area for its volume is a sphere. The sphere is a shape of pure equilibrium, of perfect democracy. There are no corners, no edges, no sides. Every point on its surface is equally important, equally held in the gentle inward pull. It is a shape of profound peace and unity. And so the raindrop, in its brief tumbling journey toward the earth, becomes this perfect, miniature world, a temporary, liquid planet. Think of it, then, not as a mere drop of water, but as a temporary crystal, forged by the air and the laws of physics. It is a perfect, naturally formed lens. Its surface, held in that spherical shape by the gentle embrace of its own molecules, is smoother and more flawless than any lens ground by a human hand. It is an object of fleeting, unintentional perfection. It has no idea of its own beauty, no inkling of the role it is about to play. Its only purpose is to fall. Its perfection is an accident of its own nature. And this, too, is a source of quiet comfort. That the universe, without any conscious thought or design, produces such objects of perfect, functional beauty. It does not strive for it. It simply is. The raindrop does not try to be a sphere. It surrenders to the forces within and around it. And in that surrender, it finds its perfect form. Let us imagine ourselves now, standing in the moments after the rain has passed, but before the air is clear, the sky is filled with a fine mist, a floating curtain of millions upon millions of these tiny, perfect spheres. Each one is a suspended jewel, a tiny crystal ball drifting on the gentle currents of the air. The entire world has become a theater, and the stage is now set. An audience of countless, perfectly shaped lenses is waiting. Silent and patient, they are waiting for their partner. They are waiting for the light. This curtain of droplets is essential. A single drop, on its own, would perform its magic for a single eye, if that eye were in the exact right place. But to create the grand, sweeping arc that we see, a continuous veil of these droplets is needed, stretching across a vast expanse of the sky. Each one is a tiny participant in a grand, collaborative performance. As you lie here, you can feel the qualities of the raindrop in your own body. Feel the gentle inward pull of relaxation, your whole body settling, finding its own state of equilibrium. Feel the sense of wholeness, of your own awareness gathering itself into a quiet, peaceful center. Like the raindrop, you do not need to strive for this state. You can simply surrender to the gentle gravity of tiredness, allowing yourself to assume the most natural and peaceful form. The life of the raindrop is ephemeral, from its birth in the cloud to its final merging with the earth, or its re-evaporation back into the air. Its existence as a perfect, falling sphere is brief. This makes it precious. It is a reminder that beauty is often fleeting, and that its value is not diminished by its temporary nature. In fact, it is enhanced. We treasure the rainbow precisely because we know it will not last. We treasure the cherry blossom for the same reason. And the brief, perfect life of the raindrop is a part of this same family of transient, precious beauties. So let us hold this image in our minds. The image of the air, thick with these tiny, perfect crystal spheres. A million tiny stages. Each one a flawless lens, drifting, waiting. They are the humble and unassuming partner, the yin to the light's yang. One is a promise of hidden color, the other is the perfect key to unlock that promise. Separately, they are just light and water, but when they meet, when their two simple natures are allowed to interact, a magic will happen that is far greater than the sum of their parts. Our journey has brought us to this point of anticipation. We have our two main characters, our two essential ingredients, the messenger of light, carrying its secret cargo of color, and the temporary crystal of water, the perfect lens, waiting in the air. In our next chapter, we will bring them together. We will witness that first magical meeting at the threshold, at the crystal door of the raindrop itself. Here we are, poised at the edge of a miracle. We have set our stage with care. In the air around us, in our shared imagination, hangs a fine and shimmering curtain of countless tiny crystals, the ephemeral, perfect spheres of fallen rain. And approaching the stage is our protagonist, a single silent beam of sunlight, a messenger carrying its secret, folded up promise of color. The two halves of our story, light and water, are about to meet. Let us draw our awareness in, focusing on a single ray of light as it approaches a single, perfect droplet. This is the moment the magic begins. The ray of sunlight travels in a straight and unwavering line through the air. The air is a thin medium, and the light passes through it with an effortless, almost unimaginable speed. But now it encounters a frontier. It arrives at the curved, shimmering surface of our raindrop. This is no ordinary surface. It is a boundary between two different worlds. The world of thin, fast air, and the world of denser, slower water. It is a crystal door, and as the light passes through this door, two things happen, both of them gentle, and both of them essential to the story of the rainbow. The first is that the light slows down. Imagine walking along a smooth, clear path, your pace easy and swift, and then the path ends, and you step into a field of tall, soft grass. Your pace naturally slows. You are not hitting a wall, but you feel a gentle resistance, a soft drag on your movement. The experience of light entering water is much like this. The water is denser than the air, its molecules more closely packed, and the light cannot travel through it quite as quickly. It takes a deep breath, as it were. It sighs and its pace becomes more measured. This slowing down causes the second thing to happen. The light bends. We call this refraction, but let us think of it not as a sharp, geometric event, but as a graceful adjustment of its course. As the light slows upon entering the denser medium of water, its path is deflected slightly. It is like a traveler. Upon entering a beautiful, quiet cathedral from a busy street, pausing and turning slightly to take in the new, serene surroundings, the light bows just a little as it crosses the threshold. But this is where the true wonder, the heart of the rainbow's secret, is revealed. For the white light, as we know, is not one thing. It is a composite. It is the folded fan. It is the silent cord. And not all of the colors folded within it behave in exactly the same way. When the light beam slows and bends, each of its component colors slows and bends by a slightly different amount. The long, slow waves of red light, the deep cello notes of the spectrum, are not deflected as much. They are sturdier, more steadfast in their path. They bend, but only slightly. But the short, energetic waves of violet light, the high, ethereal harmonics, are more sensitive to the change. They are deflected the most. And all the other colors, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, all find their own unique path, each one bending just a little more than the color before it. And so, in the very moment of entering the raindrop, the great deception of whiteness is unmasked. The single unified beam of white light is no more. In its place, a beautiful, ordered spectrum of color is born. The cord has been gently teased apart into its individual notes. The folded fan has been opened. The dormant seed has sprouted its colored petals. Let us linger on this moment of transformation. It is the climax of our story so far. The promise has been fulfilled. The secret is out. One moment, a single ray of white light. The next, a ribbon of pure, distinct color, neatly arranged according to its nature: red, then orange, yellow, green, blue, and finally, violet. This process is called dispersion, but a better name for it might be revelation. Inside the tiny, spherical world of the raindrop, a miniature, private rainbow now exists. It is a perfect, luminous band of color, traveling through the water. It is a thing of breathtaking beauty, created in an instant, inside a space no bigger than the head of a pin. It is a secret that the raindrop holds for just a fraction of a second. This act of unfurling is the reason for everything. Without this gentle, differential bending of the light, sunlight would pass through the raindrop and emerge as white light on the other side. There would be no color, no arc in the sky. The entire glorious spectacle of the rainbow is born in this one simple, elegant act of physics. This graceful parting of the ways as the colors of light navigate a new medium. It is a deeply peaceful and satisfying thing to contemplate. There is no violence in this separation. There is no shattering or breaking. It is an orderly, natural, and gentle unfurling, a sorting of the light according to its own intrinsic properties. It feels less like a law of physics and more like a law of aesthetics, a principle that the universe holds a deep appreciation for color and will use any opportunity to display it. We can feel this in our own experience. Think of a moment when a simple monolithic feeling like a general sense of unease or a vague happiness is suddenly understood more clearly. When you pass it through the lens of quiet reflection, you might find that the unease was actually a blend of tiredness and worry about a specific task and a touch of hunger. The single white feeling, when examined, unfurls into a spectrum of smaller, more manageable components. This is the same principle. Clarity comes from gently separating the strands. The journey of our light is not yet over. This beautiful, newly formed ribbon of color is now traveling through the water of the droplet, heading towards the back of the sphere. What happens when it arrives there will be the subject of our next chapter. But for now, let us simply rest in the beauty of what has just occurred. Let the image settle in your mind: a single, perfect sphere of water, hanging in the air, a ray of sunlight approaching it, and in the instant of entry, in that silent, microscopic transaction at the crystal door, the light is transformed. The hidden is made visible. The potential is made real. The simplicity reveals its magnificent, ordered complexity. This is happening in millions upon millions of raindrops all at once. An immense, silent, coordinated act of revelation. A blossoming of color on a scale that is almost too vast to comprehend. But it all comes down to this one: intimate interaction. Repeated over and over. The meeting of a single ray of light and a single drop of water. As you lie here on the edge of sleep, you can let your own mind be as peaceful as this process. There is no need for force, there is no need for struggle. Beauty and clarity can arise from the gentlest of transitions. by simply shifting your state, by allowing your awareness to pass through the crystal door from the busyness of the day to the quiet of the night, you may find that your own inner colors begin to unfurl. The gentle reds of warmth, the soft yellows of peace, the calm blues of tranquility. They are all there, waiting within the white light of your own consciousness. They are waiting for a moment of quiet, a gentle change of medium to be revealed. We left our story at a moment of pure revelation. A single, unassuming beam of white light, upon passing through the crystal door of a raindrop, has unfurled into a beautiful, ordered ribbon of pure color. The secret is out. The potential has been made real. Inside the microscopic, spherical world of the droplet, a private, perfect rainbow is now making its way through the water. Its journey, however, is only half complete. This ribbon of light is now approaching the far side of the droplet. The delicate, curved boundary at the back of the sphere, here, it faces another threshold, another choice. It is preparing to move from the dense medium of water back into the thin, fast medium of the air. Our intuition might tell us that the light will simply pass through this second wall, bending once more as it re-enters the atmosphere, and continue on its way. And indeed, some of the light does just that, exiting the back of the raindrop, unseen, its part in our story now over. But something else, something far more crucial for the creation of the rainbow we see, happens to the rest of the light. At the particular angle at which our ribbon of color approaches this back surface, it does not pass through. The boundary, for a fleeting instant, ceases to be a window and becomes a mirror. The light is turned back upon itself. This is the second great secret of the rainbow, a moment of perfect, total internal reflection. Let us not think of this as a collision, or the light bouncing off a hard surface. The language of physics can sometimes sound so harsh, so percussive. The reality is far more graceful. Let us imagine our ribbon of light as a troupe of silent, ethereal dancers, gliding across the crystal floor of a grand, spherical ballroom. They have just performed their great unfurling, and now they arrive at the far, curved wall of the room. This wall is not made of stone, but of a soft, shimmering velvet curtain. The dancers do not crash into this curtain. They simply touch it. And in that light, momentary contact, they use its gentle resistance to reverse their course. It is a pivot, a soft as a whisper push-off that allows them to turn in perfect formation and begin their journey back across the ballroom floor. Their order is not disturbed. Their grace is not interrupted. It is a seamless, fluid, and beautiful change of direction. This is what happens to our ribbon of color. It arrives at the back of the raindrop, touches that shimmering, energetic boundary, and is folded back into the droplet. The red light, which was leading the way, is now directed back towards the front. The violet light, which was at the rear of the procession, now finds itself leading the way on this new, reversed path. The entire spectrum has been perfectly, flawlessly reflected, or we can imagine it as an echo. The light speaks its colors to the back wall of the droplet, and the wall whispers them back in perfect fidelity. It is not a loud, sharp ricochet, but a soft, clear resonance. The integrity of the colors, their purity and their order, is perfectly preserved in this reflection. The raindrop, for this brief instant, acts as a perfect, flawless, spherical mirror. This moment of reflection is absolutely key. Without it, the light would simply exit the back of the droplet, and the colors would be cast away from our eyes, lost to our perception. We would never see them. The rainbow we see in the sky is made only of the light that has made this graceful turn. The light that has agreed to journey back for a second pass through the water, to be sent towards us, the observers. Let us pause to appreciate the elegance of this. It is a process of selection. Only the light that performs this inner dance, this reflection, is chosen to be part of the final spectacle. It is as if the raindrop is a discerning choreographer, selecting only the most graceful of its light dancers for the final performance. This gentle turning back can also be a soothing concept for our own minds. So often, we think of progress as a straight line, a constant moving forward. But sometimes, the most fruitful journeys involve a moment of reflection, a turning back upon ourselves. When we pause and gently reflect on an experience, we are not moving backward, we are deepening our understanding. We are allowing the light of our awareness to make a second pass over an event, to see it from a new angle. This is what the light is doing now. It is on its second journey through the same space, but its perspective has been reversed. Inside the droplet, the world is now filled with this returning light. The tiny sphere is illuminated from within by its own captured, reflected rainbow. It is a self-contained world of breathtaking beauty, a beauty that exists for only a fraction of a microsecond and is created solely for the purpose of being redirected. The journey now is a familiar one, but in reverse, the ribbon of color, now led by violet and tailed by red, travels back across the tiny expanse of water. It is heading back towards the front surface, the very same crystal door through which it first entered. It is now preparing to exit, to complete its journey, and if we are in the right place at the right time, to deliver its message of color directly to our eyes. What will happen when it reaches this threshold for a second time? What new transformation awaits our ribbon of light as it prepares to leave the quiet, slow world of water and re-enter the fast, thin world of the air? That is the story for our next chapter. For now, let us rest in the quiet beauty of this moment of reflection. Let us find peace in the image of a gentle, seamless, and purposeful change of direction. It is a reminder that not all turns are setbacks. Some are essential parts of a graceful journey. It is a reminder that reflection can be a source of profound beauty. As you lie here, feel the rhythm of your own breath. The inhalation, a journey inward. The exhalation, a journey outward. Your own body understands this principle of reversal, of a two-part journey. Let your mind be like the light in the droplet. If it encounters a distracting thought, it does not need to crash into it or fight it. It can instead treat it as a velvet curtain. It can gently touch it, acknowledge it, and then, just as gently, pivot and return its focus to the simple, peaceful sensation of the breath. It is a quiet, internal reflection, a seamless change of direction, a moment of profound and simple grace. And so, our ribbon of light, having performed its graceful, turning pivot at the back of the raindrop, is now on its return journey. It travels back through the tiny, liquid sphere, a perfect reversed spectrum of color, led by the gentle violet and followed by the steadfast red. It is approaching the front surface once more, the very same crystal door through which it first entered. It is preparing to leave the quiet, dense world of water and emerge back into the thin, bright world of the air. It is preparing for its final bow. As the light passes across this threshold for the second time, it undergoes its third and final transformation. Just as it bent upon entering the water, it must bend again upon exiting. As it moves from the denser water to the thinner air, its speed increases, and its path is deflected once more. This second act of refraction, this parting gesture, has a beautiful effect. It fans the colors out even further, widening the spread of the spectrum, making the separation between the individual hues even more clear and distinct. It is a final, graceful flourish, ensuring that the colors are presented in their fullest glory. The journey of the light through this single droplet is now complete. A three-act play has unfolded in a fraction of a second, a bending and unfurling upon entry, a gentle reflection and reversal, and a final bending and fanning out upon its exit. What emerges from the raindrop is no longer a single beam of white light, but a beautiful, divergent spray of pure color, aimed in a very specific direction. This, in itself, is a small and lovely miracle, a tiny secret wonder performed inside a temporary jewel. But if this happened in only one raindrop, we would never see it. The light from a single drop is far too faint for our eyes to perceive. The grand, breathtaking arc that we see in the sky is not the work of a soloist. It is the work of a choir, a vast, magnificent choir, made up of millions upon millions of raindrops, all singing in perfect harmony. Let us now pull our awareness back. Let us zoom out from the intimate microscopic dance within one droplet and see the entire shimmering curtain of mist that hangs in the air after a shower. The air is thick with these tiny spherical lenses, a countless multitude of them, each one a potential performer. The sunlight coming from behind us shines upon this entire curtain, and every single droplet that is touched by the sun begins to perform the exact same three-act dance we have just witnessed. Every single drop becomes a tiny prism, taking in white light and sending out a spray of colored light. The air is now filled with an almost unimaginable amount of colored light, spraying in millions of different directions. It is a silent, chaotic explosion of color, but it is not chaos. There is a deep and beautiful order to it. And the secret to that order, the secret that organizes this chaos into the perfect arc of a rainbow, is you. It is your eye. It is the unique position you occupy in the world as the observer. Let us return to our analogy of the choir. Imagine every raindrop is a singer. The sunlight is the universal sheet of music given to every singer at once. The music requires them to take the white chord and separate it into its beautiful, colored notes. But here is the magic from where you are standing. You cannot hear every note from every singer. Because of your specific location, you will only hear one single, perfect note from each singer. All of the raindrops that are positioned at the very highest point in the sky relative to you are at the perfect angle, about 42 degrees, to send their red light. And only their red light directly into your eye. They are all singing the deep, resonant cello note of red, and you are perfectly positioned to hear it. This collective song from thousands of high-altitude droplets creates the great red arc at the top of the rainbow. Just below them, another band of thousands of droplets is at a slightly different angle, about 41 degrees. From your perspective, they are perfectly positioned to deliver their orange light to you. They are the alto section of the choir, singing their warm, apricot-colored note. You do not hear the red light from them. It passes over your head. You do not hear their blue light. It falls short towards the ground. You hear only their orange. And so it continues, down through the entire arc. Below the orange singers are the yellow, then the green, then the blue, and finally, at the lowest part of the bow, are the thousands of droplets positioned at just the right angle, about 40 degrees, to send their high, ethereal violet note directly to you. The rainbow, then, is not a single, solid object. It is a collection of individual points of light, a chorus of millions of tiny singers, each contributing its single note to the grand harmony that you perceive. It is an immense act of cooperation, a sorting of light by a million tiny hands, all organized by the simple, elegant geometry of your own unique point of view. This leads us to one of the most beautiful and profound truths about a rainbow. The one you see is yours and yours alone. It is a deeply, radically personal experience. If someone is standing right next to you, they are also seeing a rainbow. It may look identical to yours, but they are, by necessity, seeing a different one. Their eyes occupy a slightly different position in space, and so the set of raindrops that are singing the red note to them is a different set of raindrops from the one singing the red note to you. No two people can ever see the exact same rainbow. You can share the experience of seeing a rainbow, but you cannot share the actual phenomenon itself. It is a light show created by the universe specifically for your perspective. It is a personal conversation between the sun, the water, and your own two eyes. There is something deeply comforting in this. In a world where so much is shared, copied, and broadcast to millions, the rainbow remains an unshareable, personal, and intimate event. It is a quiet reminder of the uniqueness of your own perspective. It validates your own singular place in the universe. In that moment, the cosmos is arranging itself in a way that creates a spectacular beauty that only you can truly see. It is not an arrogant thought, it is a humbling one. It speaks to a deep and personal connection between the observer and the observed. As you lie here, drifting, you can let this feeling of being uniquely positioned wash over you. You are at the center of your own universe, not in a selfish way, but as a simple fact of perception. All that you experience is filtered through your unique consciousness. And the rainbow is the universe's most beautiful illustration of this truth. Feel the peace that comes with this. You are the audience for a private showing, a performance of light and water, staged just for you. This does not make you separate from others. It simply highlights the precious, unique quality of your own journey, your own awareness. And just as you are the sole observer of your rainbow, you are the sole inhabitant of your own dreams, the quiet, colorful landscapes that your mind will paint for you tonight. Let us rest. Then, in this idea of the great chorus, the air is filled with music, the music of light, and you with the patient. Receptive instruments of your eyes are listening. You are hearing the harmony. You are perceiving the great arc of color that is the collective song of millions of tiny, temporary, perfect worlds, all singing just for you. We have arrived at a place of profound and gentle intimacy. We have learned that the rainbow, that grand spectacle of the heavens, is not a shared monument, but a private performance, a chorus of light singing a song meant only for you. This understanding brings the vastness of the cosmos into the quiet space of our own personal experience. And as we rest with this beautiful thought, another gentle question begins to form in the quiet air. Why this particular shape? Why does this personal chorus of light always arrange itself into that same graceful, perfect arc? Why not a straight line of color, or a vertical pillar, or a random, beautiful splash against the clouds? The answer, like all the secrets of the rainbow we have uncovered so far, is one of beautiful, simple, and deeply calming elegance. The perfect arc of the rainbow is a shape born of the unwavering and harmonious laws of geometry, the silent, invisible architecture of space itself. It is the shape of a promise kept with mathematical certainty. To understand it, let us imagine ourselves not in the moments after a great rainstorm, but in a quiet, sunny garden on a warm afternoon. Imagine you are holding a garden hose with a nozzle that creates a fine, misty spray. The sun is behind you, low in the sky, casting your long shadow ahead of you onto the grass. Now, you point the nozzle up and away from you, and a fine, shimmering curtain of mist fills the air. And there, in the heart of that man-made mist, a small, bright rainbow appears. It is a perfect miniature of the one we see in the sky. It shimmers and dances as the droplets move. If you take a step to the left, the little rainbow moves with you. If you take a step to the right, it follows. It maintains its position not relative to the grass or the trees, but relative to you. It is your personal rainbow, born in the mist of your garden. Now, notice its shape. It is an arc. All the water droplets that are creating that arc of color share one thing in common. They are all at the exact same angle relative to your eye and the path of the sunlight. The light comes from the sun behind you, travels past your head, and enters the droplets. There, it performs its three-act dance of bending, reflecting, and bending again, and it exits the droplets, traveling back towards your eye at a very specific angle. For the red light, that magic angle is always the same. Any droplet, anywhere in that misty spray, that happens to be at that perfect angle from your line of sight will send its red light to you. Now, think about what happens when you have a single point your eye and you collect all the other points that are at a constant angle to it. What shape do you create? You create a circle. Imagine holding a string. One end is anchored to a spot on the ground, and with the other end, holding a stick, you draw a line in the dirt. Keeping the string taut, you will draw a perfect circle. The rainbow's geometry is like this, but in 3 dimensions. Your eye is the anchor point. The magic angle is the fixed length of the string, and the rainbow is the circle you draw upon the canvas of the distant raindrops. So, the rainbow is, in its truest form, a full and perfect circle of light. The reason we almost always see it as an arc, a bow, is beautifully simple. The rest of the circle is hidden below the horizon. The ground gets in the way. We are seeing only the upper portion of a complete celestial halo. The perfect arc we see is simply the smile of a much larger, hidden circle. To imagine the full circle can be a deeply peaceful exercise. Imagine you are in an airplane, flying high above the clouds. Below you is a flat, white sheet of cloud tops, and the sun is directly behind the airplane. If a light rain shower were to happen beneath you, and you were to look down, you might be lucky enough to see it a full 360-degree, perfect circle of a rainbow hanging in the air below, a complete, unbroken halo of color. It is a rare sight, but it is the true and complete form of this beautiful phenomenon. Knowing this, knowing that the arc we see is part of a hidden, perfect whole, can bring a sense of completeness and peace. The harmony is even greater than what we can usually see. Let us think of this in another way. Imagine your eyes at the very point of a vast, invisible cone, like a great sharpened pencil pointing away from you, towards the distant curtain of rain. The rainbow is the circular line that is drawn where the edge of this cone touches the raindrops. There is actually a cone for each color. A cone for red light, which is the widest, and nestled just inside it, a slightly narrower cone for orange light, and inside that, a cone for yellow, and so on, all the way to the narrowest cone for the violet light at the center. What we perceive as a rainbow is the series of colored rings where these nested cones intersect the screen of water droplets. It is like a set of celestial teacups, one nestled inside the other, and we are seeing their colored rims, painted on the sky. The shape is not an accident. It is an inevitability. It is the only shape that can be born from this beautiful, simple geometry of light and sight. There is a profound sense of calm that can come from contemplating this order. The world, which can often feel so messy and unpredictable, contains within it these patterns of absolute perfection and harmony. The universe is not just creative, it is also exquisitely mathematical. And its mathematics are beautiful. The arc of the rainbow is a testament to this deep, underlying structure. It is a reassurance that not everything is random. There are rules, and the rules produce grace. This perfect geometric harmony is an echo of the peace we can find within ourselves. Our own breath, for instance, has a natural rhythmic structure. An inhalation, a pause, an exhalation. A pause. It is a cycle, a reliable pattern that anchors us. When we feel scattered or anxious, returning our attention to the simple, predictable geometry of our own breathing can bring an immense sense of calm. We are aligning ourselves with a natural, peaceful order. Contemplating the arc of the rainbow can have the same effect. It is a visual breath. It is a reminder of the quiet, dependable order that exists in the world. It is a shape that speaks of balance, of wholeness, of a gentle and expansive grace. It holds the sky, connecting one part of the horizon to the other, a bridge of pure and ordered light. So as you rest here, like you can hold this image of the perfect arc in your mind, feel its balance, feel its completeness, remembering the full circle that lies hidden below the horizon. Let the gentle, predictable curve of it soothe your mind. It is a shape that has no sharp corners, no sudden turns. It is a smooth, continuous, and trustworthy form. Let its harmony be your harmony. Let its peace be your peace. The universe has written a message of order and beauty in the sky, and its shape is a perfect, gentle curve, a quiet reassurance that all is well. We have found a place of deep and orderly peace, resting our awareness in the perfect, harmonious arc of the rainbow. We have understood its shape not as an accident, but as an elegant and inevitable consequence of the geometry of light and sight. It is a structure of such profound balance and calm that it feels like a complete story in itself, a perfect celestial smile. But sometimes, on very special occasions, when the conditions are just right, the universe decides that the performance is not quite over. Sometimes, if we are very lucky, we may look above the first bright arc and see a second one, a fainter, more ethereal sister rainbow, hanging in the sky like a gentle echo of the first. This is the double rainbow, a sight of rare and captivating beauty. Its presence adds another layer of wonder to the spectacle, another verse to the poem of the sky. And like everything else we have explored, its secret is not one of new magic, but a deeper exploration of the magic we already know. It is the story of our light and our raindrop deciding to perform one more step in their graceful dance. Let us return to the tiny, spherical ballroom of a single water droplet. We followed our ribbon of light as it entered, bent, and unfurled its colors. We watched as it glided to the back of the droplet and, in a moment of perfect internal reflection, pivoted gracefully and journeyed back towards the front. This is the journey that creates our primary rainbow, the bright, familiar arc we know and love. But what if, on its way out, the light is not quite ready to leave? What if some of that light, upon reaching the front surface of the droplet, does not exit? What if, instead, it is reflected again? What if it is turned back for a second time, sent on yet another pass through the liquid sphere? This is exactly what happens to create the second rainbow. It is the story of a light that performs not one, but two internal reflections. Imagine our troupe of light dancers once more. They have completed their first reflection and have glided back across the floor. They approach the front wall, the crystal door where they first entered. Most of the dancers exit here, giving their final bow and creating the primary rainbow. But a few of them, a smaller, more dedicated group, touch this front wall and, in another soft, seamless pivot, turn back once more. They are now on their third journey across the tiny sphere. With each reflection, some of the light's energy is lost. A portion of it escapes the droplet. Think of it as each touch of the velvet curtain costing the dancers a little bit of their brightness. The light that makes it through one reflection is strong and vibrant. But the light that has undergone a second reflection has paid this toll twice. It is inherently fainter, more delicate. This is why the second rainbow is always a paler version of the first. It is a whisper to the primary bow's clear, confident voice. It is an echo, and an echo is always softer than the original sound. This second reflection does something else, something truly beautiful. It reverses the order of the dancers once again. We remember that after the first reflection, the violet light was leading the procession and the red light was at the back. Now, after this second turn, the red light finds itself in the lead once more, and the violet is at the tail. And so, when this twice reflected light finally does exit the droplet, the colors are arranged in the opposite order. It emerges from the raindrop at a higher angle than the primary bow, around 51 degrees, and its color sequence is reversed. In the second rainbow, the red arc is on the bottom, on the inside of the curve, and the violet arc is on the top, on the outside. It is a perfect mirror image of its brighter sister. It is as if the second bow is showing you the same beautiful colors, but has arranged them in a different, complementary pattern, a different harmony. And if you look very closely on a day when a double rainbow is clear, you will notice something else. The band of sky between the two rainbows appears darker than the sky around it. This is not an illusion. This dark river of sky has a name, Alexander's Band, but let us simply think of it as a place of quiet. It is a region of the sky from which no light that has been reflected one or two times can reach your eye. It is a zone of visual silence. This band of relative darkness has the beautiful effect of making the colors on either side of it appear even more brilliant and more clearly defined. The quiet space between the two songs helps you to appreciate each song more fully. The double rainbow reminds us that even when we think we understand a story, there can be another deeper layer to discover. It is a gentle encore, a reward for patient observation. And the rainbow has other, even shyer kin, other members of its family that appear only under the most specific and magical of circumstances. Have you ever heard of a moonbow, a lunar rainbow? Imagine a night with a full, brilliant moon, so bright it casts soft shadows on the ground. And imagine that a gentle rain shower begins to fall opposite the moon in the sky. If you are very patient and very lucky, you may see it. The same process unfolds. The moonlight, which is just reflected sunlight, after all, enters the raindrops. It bends, it reflects. It emerges as a spectrum of color. But the light of the moon is thousands of times fainter than the light of the sun. And so the bow it creates is an incredibly delicate, ethereal thing. To our human eyes, which do not see color well in low light, a moonbow often appears as a ghostly white arc against the dark night sky, a luminous spectral smile. Only in very long exposure photographs, or on nights with an exceptionally bright moon, can the faint colors be truly seen. Seeing a moonbow is a special kind of gift. It is a secret the night shares only with the most quiet and attentive of souls. It is a rainbow that has learned to whisper. And there are also fog bows. Sometimes, on a day with a bright sun and a thick fog, a bow will appear, but a fog is made of water droplets that are incredibly tiny, far smaller than raindrops. When light passes through these minuscule lenses, the beautiful complex dance of refraction and reflection still happens, but the droplets are so small that the emerging colors get smeared together, overlapping one another. The distinct bands of red, green, and blue all blur into a single, wide, and ghostly white arc. It is sometimes called a ghost rainbow or a white rainbow. It is a beautiful, eerie sight. A rainbow that has decided to wear a veil of pure white. Contemplating these rarer forms of the rainbow, the faint echo of the double bow, the nocturnal whisper of the moonbow, the ghostly white of the fog bow can bring a new kind of peace. It speaks to the subtlety and variety of the universe. It tells us that beauty does not always shout. Sometimes it is a faint suggestion, a hint, a thing you must be very still to perceive. This is a wonderful thought to hold as you prepare for sleep. You do not need to chase after sleep or demand its presence. You can instead become like the patient observer, waiting for a moonbow. You can become still and quiet and simply create the gentle conditions for it to appear. Sleep, like the rarest of rainbows, often reveals itself not to those who struggle, but to those who wait in peaceful, patient trust. Let your mind be as quiet as the night sky, and perhaps in its own time, a gentle, restorative arc of peace will appear. We have journeyed far and wide in our gentle exploration. We have traveled to the sun and back, shrunk ourselves down to the size of a water droplet, and stood in awe before the vast celestial geometry of the sky. We have listened to the whispers of double rainbows and moonbows. And now, we return to the quiet truth of that first, simple arc of color. And we must face the most profound and poetic of all its secrets. It is a secret tied to an ancient human desire. A dream whispered in folklore and children's stories for centuries, the dream of finding the rainbow's end. There is a powerful myth, a lovely, hopeful legend, that at the end of the rainbow, a pot of gold awaits. This story has inspired countless people, especially children, to try and chase this beautiful, ethereal thing. Imagine a child in a field, seeing a rainbow touching down behind a distant hill. With excitement in their heart, they begin to run toward it, convinced they can reach that magical place where color meets the earth. But as they run, a strange thing happens. The rainbow seems to move with them. The hill that seemed to be its anchor is reached, but the rainbow's end is now further on, behind the next stand of trees. It is always just out of reach, a beautiful, retreating promise. This experience is not a failure. The child has not failed in their quest. They have, in fact, stumbled upon the deepest truth of the rainbow. The reason you can never reach the end of the rainbow is because the rainbow is not a place. It is not an object. You cannot get closer to it because it does not exist in the way a tree or a hill exists. A rainbow is not a thing. It is a relationship. This is a truth of immense and gentle power. The rainbow is a relationship, a specific and perfect optical event that occurs only between three participants: the sun, the curtain of water droplets, and your eye. It is an experience woven from these three elements. If you move your eye, the relationship changes, the geometry shifts, and the rainbow you see is created by a new set of droplets, appearing in a new location. If the sun is obscured by a cloud, the relationship is broken, and the rainbow vanishes. If the rain stops, the relationship ends, and the rainbow fades. It has no substance. It has no weight. It cannot be touched, or bottled, or held. Its existence is entirely in the seeing of it. It is as intangible as a dream, as ephemeral as a melody. It is a phenomenon of pure light and perspective. To truly understand this is to be liberated. It frees us from the desire to possess the beauty we see. The rainbow teaches us a profound lesson in non-attachment. It shows us that the most beautiful things in the universe cannot be owned. They can only be witnessed. They can only be appreciated in the fleeting moment of their existence. To see a rainbow is to be in the right place at the right time, to be a willing participant in a temporary, magical alignment of the cosmos. The gift is not a pot of gold at its end, but the simple, profound beauty of the experience itself. This idea can bring a deep and settled peace to the mind. So much of our day is spent striving, grasping, trying to achieve and to hold on to things. We chase our own pots of gold deadlines, goals, resolutions, but the rainbow reminds us that there is a different kind of joy. A joy that comes not from attainment, but from simple, open-eyed appreciation. A joy that accepts the transient nature of beauty and does not mourn its passing, but is grateful for its brief appearance. And now, let us take this idea of a relationship and look at it through one last lens. The relationship is between the sun and the rain, light and water. Let us think of these two things as powerful metaphors for our own inner lives. The sun, it is the source of light, of warmth, of energy, of clarity. In our own lives, the sun can be seen as our moments of joy, of happiness, of hope, of understanding. It is the light of our awareness, the part of us that feels optimistic, clear-headed, and at peace. And the rain is water. It is cleansing. It is life-giving. But it is also the obscuring of the sun. It can represent the other side of our experience, our moments of sadness, of difficulty, of confusion. The rain can be our struggles, our challenges, our own quiet sorrows. It can be our tears. For so long, we have been taught to believe that happiness is the absence of rain, that to be at peace meant we must live in a state of perpetual sunshine. We strive to avoid the clouds, to banish the sorrow, to fix the difficulties, believing that only then can we find beauty and contentment. But the rainbow offers a different, more gentle, and far more compassionate wisdom. The rainbow does not appear on days of pure, unbroken sunshine. It cannot. It requires both ingredients. It is born only when the sun and the rain coexist. It is created when the light shines through the rain. This is a truth of breathtaking tenderness. It suggests that beauty in our lives is not found by eliminating our sorrows, but by allowing the light of our awareness, our compassion, our hope, to shine through them. Our tears are not an obstacle to beauty. They can be the very lenses through which the light of our spirit is refracted into a spectrum of wisdom and grace. A life without the rain of struggle or sorrow would be a desert, a landscape without the potential for this special kind of beauty. The rainbow validates our entire human experience. It tells us that it is okay to have clouds in our sky, to feel the rain upon our skin. It whispers a promise that even in these moments, especially in these moments, the potential for light and color exists. This is a profoundly comforting thought to hold at the end of a day. Perhaps your day was one of pure sunshine, and for that, you can be grateful. But perhaps your day held some rain. Perhaps there were moments of frustration or worry or sadness. You do not need to push these feelings away in order to find rest. You do not need to pretend they did not happen. You can instead imagine the light of your own quiet, restful awareness as the sun, and you can allow the rain of your day's experiences to simply be, and perhaps, in the gentle alchemy of your own mind, a kind of inner rainbow can form, a quiet arc of acceptance, a gentle color of self-compassion, a soft hue of the wisdom gained from a difficult moment. The rainbow does not fix the rain. It does not make it go away. It simply coexists with it, and in doing so, creates something new and beautiful that could not have existed otherwise. And so, you do not need to fix your day's troubles to find peace. You can allow them to be what they are, and allow the gentle light of your resting mind to shine upon them, transforming them not by force, but by a simple, loving perspective. To know that beauty is not the absence of sorrow, but its transformation, is one of the deepest and most restful truths we can carry with us into sleep. It gives us permission to be whole, to be human, to have experienced all the weather of our day, and to know that we are still capable of and worthy of peace. The rainbow is the universe's gentle reminder of this compassionate and hopeful truth. Here we are. At the end of our quiet walk together, we find ourselves standing at a final, peaceful threshold. We have followed the light. We have traveled inside a single drop of rain. We have listened to the sky, and we have learned its gentle secrets. Our spiral journey, which began in the cool, clean air after a rain shower, has brought us back to this very moment, to the quiet of your room, to the rhythm of your own breath. Let us, for one last time, gently gather the memories of our journey, not as lessons to be memorized, but as soft, colored threads to be woven into a final, comforting blanket. We began with the feeling of wonder. We stood in a world washed clean by rain and saw a blush of impossible color appear against the gray clouds. We didn't understand it then. We simply felt its magic, a quiet promise of beauty that stilled the mind and opened the heart. That feeling of simple, childlike awe was the doorway to our entire journey. We followed that sense of wonder to its source. First to the sun. We discovered that the plain, white light that illuminates our days is, in fact, a folded-up secret, a silent chord containing all the colors of the spectrum. It is a constant, flowing promise of beauty, a seed of potential that is always present, even when unseen. Then, we turned our attention to its partner. The humble raindrop? We saw it not as mere water, but as a fleeting, perfect crystal, a temporary jewel pulled into a flawless sphere by the gentle inward embrace of its own molecules. We saw it as the perfect, natural lens, an object of accidental beauty, waiting patiently in the air. And then we witnessed the meeting, the magical moment at the crystal door. We saw the light enter the droplet, and in a gentle sigh of slowing down, it unfurled its hidden colors. The silent chord was separated into its individual notes. The folded fan was opened. The secret was revealed in a silent, blossoming ribbon of pure color. We watched this ribbon of light perform a graceful pivot, a gentle reflection off the inner back surface of the droplet, a seamless turn that sent it back on a new course. This, we learned, was the crucial step that aimed the light back towards our waiting eyes. We zoomed out, and our perspective shifted from the solo dance within one drop to the magnificent performance of a great choir. We understood that the rainbow is a chorus of millions of droplets, each singing a single pure color note directly to us. And in this, we found the most intimate truth that the rainbow we see is ours and ours alone. A personal performance staged by the cosmos for our unique point of view. We marveled at its shape, that perfect, harmonious arc. We saw it not as an accident, but as the elegant, inevitable result of the geometry of light and perspective. The smile of a greater hidden circle, it brought a sense of deep, calming order to the magic. a reassurance that the universe is governed by laws that are both reliable and beautiful. We listened for the echoes and whispers, discovering the fainter, sister arc of the double rainbow and the ghostly, nocturnal secret of the moonbow. We learned that beauty doesn't always shout. Sometimes it is a subtle suggestion, a reward for quiet, patient observation, and finally, we embrace the most profound truth of all, that a rainbow is not a place you can reach, but an experience you can have. It is an intangible relationship between sun, water, and sight. It taught us the wisdom of appreciating the fleeting moment without needing to possess it. And it offered us its most compassionate metaphor that this beautiful thing is born only when there is both sun and rain, that the light of our hope can shine through the waters of our sorrow to create something new and beautiful. And now, here, at the end of all our wandering, we can see that this entire story, the story of the rainbow, is also the story of a dream. The journey into sleep and the visions we find there follow the same gentle, magical rules. Think of it. What are the ingredients of a dream? A dream, like a rainbow, needs two things. It needs the sunlight of your waking life, the memories, the thoughts, the conversations, the sights and sounds of your day. This is the raw material, the white light of your accumulated experience. And it needs the rain. It needs the fine, misty atmosphere of your own subconscious mind, the deep, emotional part of you that comes forward when your conscious, rational mind begins to rest. It is the mist of feeling, of intuition, of unresolved wonderings and deep-seated desires. As you begin to fall asleep, you are allowing the light of your day to pass into the misty, liquid world of your dreaming mind. And just like the light entering the raindrop, your thoughts begin to slow down, to lose their sharp, linear focus. They begin to bend, and in that bending, they unfurl. The solid, monolithic events of your day are refracted into a spectrum of strange and colorful components. A simple conversation at work might blossom into a dream about talking animals in a forest. A worry about a bill might unfurl into a surreal landscape of numbers and floating papers. The white light of a single experience is separated into its hidden symbolic colors. Your dreaming mind, like the raindrop, is a prism that reveals the hidden spectrum within the ordinary. And what are dreams, if not personal? Like the rainbow, your dream is yours and yours alone. No one else can see it. It is a performance staged in the private theater of your own mind, organized by the unique geometry of your own soul. It is a conversation between your experience and your deeper self. Dreams, too, are ephemeral. They are not places you can go back to. They are fleeting events. How often does a vivid, powerful dream fade upon waking? Like a rainbow dissolving back into the gray clouds of morning. We are left with only the feeling, the sense of having witnessed something meaningful, even if we cannot hold onto its form. A dream, like a rainbow, teaches us about the beauty of the transient. And a dream is intangible. It has no substance, but it can feel more real than anything. It is a relationship between your memory and your emotions, an experience that can change you, teach you, and soothe you. So as you lie here now, on the very threshold of this magical process, you can let go. You can give the story of your day over to the gentle, dreaming mind. You do not have to make sense of it anymore. You can simply release it and trust that your subconscious, like a million tiny raindrops, will take that light and work its gentle magic. It will create for you your own personal, private, beautiful, and fleeting rainbows. There's nothing to fear in this process. It is as natural and as beautiful as the light itself. To fall asleep is to become the observer of your own inner world. To dream is to witness the colors that are hidden inside you. So let go now. Let the light of the day become soft and diffused. Let it enter the quiet, misty world that awaits you. Feel your thoughts begin to bend, to lose their sharp edges, to unfurl into pictures and feelings and gentle, drifting stories. There is no arc to follow but the gentle curve of your own breath. There is no pot of gold to find, only the deep, restorative treasure of rest. The sun and the rain have done their work. The story is told. The sky is quiet. It is time now to simply drift and to dream.